Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Ahmaduhu wa asta'inuhu wa astadihi wa astaghfiruhu wa u'minu bihi jalla wa ala wa la akfuruhu wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. Arsalahu bil huda wa dinil haqq liyudhhiruhu ala din kullihi wallahu karihal mushrikun. All praise belongs to Allah. We praise Him, we seek His help, His assistance, and His guidance. We believe in Him and do not disbelieve in Him. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a servant and messenger. Allah sent him, that is Muhammad, with Deen al-Haq, the religion, the way, the methodology of truth. And this way of life known as Islam will rise to its proper position in this world, whether the mushriks like it or not. Amma ba'd, fa'inna astikal hadith kitabullah wa awtaqa al-ura kalimatul taqwa wa khayrul milali milatu Ibrahim wa khayrul sunani sunatu Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam wa ashraful hadith dhikrullah wa asanu al-kasasi hadha al-Quran وخير الأمور أوازموها وشير الأمور مختتاتوها وأحسن الهدي هدي الأنبياء وأشرف الموت قتل شهداء وأما علامة دلالة بعد الهدى وخير الأعمال ما نفع وخير الهادي ما أتباع وشير أما الكعب. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Inna Allah yahmuru bil adli wal ihsani wa ita'i dil qurba wa yanha dil fashai wal munkari wal baghi ya'idhukum la'allakum tadhakkarun. Faman yaridi Allahu an yadiyahu yashra sadruhu lil Islam. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu attaqullaha haqqa tuqatihi wa la tamutuna ila wa antum muslimun wa atasimu bihablillahi jami'an wa la tafarraku. Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat lin nasi ta'muruna bil ma'rufi wa tanhauna 'anil munkar wa tu'minuna billah. Aqulu qawli hadha wa astaghfirullah li wa lakum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala khairul mursaleen. Muhammadin an-Nabi al-Ummi. Wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd, yaqulu Allahu ta'ala fil Quran al-Kareem. Inna Allaha wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala an-Nabi. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu tasliman. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Maulana Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ali radiyallahu anhu reported that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam sent me to Yemen as a judge. I said, O Messenger of Allah, you are sending me while I am young in years, and I have no knowledge of judgment or judgeship. He said, truly, Allah will soon give guidance to your heart and make your tongue firm. When two persons come to you for decisions, don't give decree in favor of the first till you hear the argument of the other, because that is more necessary, that decision may become clear to you. He said, that is Ali, I had afterwards never entertained any doubt about decisions, about judgmentship. So Ali radiallahu anhu, of course, is young, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is sending him to Yemen. Now there's a long history behind this in Yemen, because Yemen was people of Ali Kitab, there's Christians and Jews down at that time. And when Ali went down there, a couple of leaders had been down there to kind of bring the people around, and they got wore out. When Ali went down there, he faced the chief rabbi. I'll get back to the hadith. And he wore him out. In other words, Ali was young, but he was full of ill and behavior. So anyway, this is about judgeship, basically. When you hear something, go and listen to the other side first, or investigate. Don't just listen. They said this about the brothers, they said that about the sister. Man, that's a cold crew. And if you sit here in the masjid and you start marriage counseling and stuff, and you first listen to the first one, usually the wife will go. Sometimes the brother won't even say nothing. But you'll be ready to jump on the brother. Man, you's a cold, good God Almighty. You did that, you do that. Man, that's mean. Then sometimes he don't say nothing. Because the brother feel like it ain't none of y'all's business to be, brother, that's our business. But sometimes the sisters love to expound on whatever it is. So sometimes when you hear the rest of it, you say, oh, well, I be doggone. That's the same in life. Oh, you believe if a wicked person comes to you with any news, ascertain the truth, lest you harm people unwittingly, and afterwards become full of repentance for what you have done. This ayat was read by, if you remember, the Sudanese ambassador that did a program here. We asked him to come years ago to do a program. And before then, the Sudanese brothers used to love to come here. Some had kind of drifted other places, but still it was heavily Sudanese. But they didn't go along with the government. And I told them, we had our program here, and we wanted the Sudanese ambassador to come here because of our relationship with the issue. Our relationship was, remember for brothers, slavery in the Sudan. Remember that? Slavery in the Sudan. For the sisters, female genital mutilation. Now, if you think, if you want to run a brother away from something, tell him, oh yeah, there's slavery involved in that, and you probably gonna be the one enslaved. He gonna break away from that at 1,000 miles an hour. And if you tell the sister they gonna take some razor blades and some scissors and clip on her special body parts, is she gonna accept that religion? Absolutely not. So this ayat, the Sudanese ambassador read, and I liked it because, and the brothers, our brothers from Sudan was mad at me. I said, no. Everybody talking about Sudan, we got to give him a stage where he can say what he want to say. You don't have to agree with him, but we have to give other people, right, a platform where they can speak. The government ain't going to give it, not over here. They're the one making the problem. Now, it's if two parties amongst the believers fall into a quarrel, make ye peace between them. But if one of them transgresses beyond bounds against the other, then fight ye all against those or the one that transgresses until he complies with the command of Allah. But if it complies, then make peace between them with justice and be fair, for Allah loves those who are fair and just. This ayat, if you want to know what is the basis of all of this fitna about Masjid al-Islam, why is Imam Musa a Shia, a Rafiq? He's everything. Why is he that? When you maybe have seen none of that. Because of this ayat. 1980, when we opened our masjid, there was a big war going on in Iraq. Saudi Arabia had been spreading money, but now it was spreading big money. And that was, when the revolution first happened, that was pro-Iranian stuff, pro-Islam stuff going all around. Pakistan, remember they hit the Pakistan. The Pakistanis raided the American embassy in '79. So, you know, people was saying, man, Ayatollah, what's that? That's all right. They was all ready to go. A year later, after Saudi got hit by a crew of good brothers over in Saudi Arabia, they took over the Masjid for a while, and it was a few Negroes over there at that time from here. Now, several things happen. I'm going to stick to the one that I'm talking about. When we opened our Masjid in 1980, we had to make a decision. So we went to the Quran, like we try to do the same thing now, but we knew we didn't know nothing. So we're going to go to the Quran and the Hadith for all of our solutions. Picking sides, who's right and wrong, who won the race, everything. If two parties amongst the believers fall into a quarrel, make ye peace between them. So September the 20th or 22nd, Iraq invaded Iran. So Iraq was the invader. The only thing is the whole world joined Saddam. Billions of dollars from Saudi Arabia, billions of dollars from Kuwait, Jordanian regulars, Egyptian pilots, technicians, Jordanian regulars, everybody, T-72 tanks from Russia, Exocet missiles from France, right? Poison gas from a combination of West Germany and America, food supplies from America, satellite images on Iranian troop movements from the United States. So everybody was on the other side, and here we are reading this. We ain't Iranian, we ain't Iraqi, we ain't, you know what I mean, like they say, we ain't got no dog in the fight. But it says, if two parties amongst the believers fall into a quarrel, make you peace between them. There are two big nations way over there. We can't make peace between them. Nothing we can do. But if one of them transgresses beyond bounds against the other, fight ye all against the one that transgresses. So I was traveling all around the country giving speeches, and people would ask me about the fact it happened to be Iranians who was doing most of the inviting, but first it was a mixture of MSA and all. But after a while, the money from Saudi Arabia told MSA, get a deal from this guy to keep his mouth shut. And they said it in 1981, and the last time in 82. And I told them, no, I ain't doing that. So, if you can't make peace, fight all together the one that's messing up till he comes to the right. Until he complies with the command of Allah. But if he complies, then make peace between them with justice and be fair, for Allah loves those who are fair and just. From that decision came the lineup that we have today. It's the same lineup. Everybody's on Saudi Arabia's side. Suppose Iran invaded a neighbor country and sent bombers every day and killed thousands of people and bombed wedding parties and factories and foodstuffs and hospitals on purpose. The world would say that's terrible. They don't say that with Saudi Arabia, because Saudi Arabia is their friend. That's the difference. We go by what Allah say. We don't go by who's our friend and who we like. Okay. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, a believer is the brother of another believer. Neither he tyrannizes him, nor leaves him unsupported. Whoever fulfills the need of his brother, Allah the Exalted fulfills his needs, and whoever removes any pain of a believer, Allah the Exalted will remove from him the agony of the day of resurrection, from amongst the agonies of the day of doom. And whoever casts a veil on the shortcomings of a believer, Allah will throw a curtain on his defects on the day of resurrection. That's in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. This is, of course, one of our favorite hadith, both in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. And it gives us some behavior that we should follow. That behavior is different from what we run across here in America. I think we have Brother Abdul-Alim, who's from Dar al-Hijra, a Palestinian brother. The feds have been harassing him since I don't know when. He wrote an article in Link saying how cowardly the brothers at Dar al-Hijra was because they backed up on him. Now, don't forget now, it was 3 other brothers that they moved on over Dar al-Hijra way back when. They was getting ready to move on Abu Marzuk, and he stumbled around for a while. They put him in jail, and but finally he got out of the country. One of the brothers over there, Brother Ahmed, he smelt the coffee and he got up and left. And even Sheikh Jafar Idris, remember? Sudan, they started talking all that stuff. He got up and left. When we saw him in Sudan, he jumped up and left. He said, well, I just felt safer here at home because they was putting everybody in jail over here for any reason. When a believer gets in some trouble, we're supposed to support him. Now, I told the people here, I said, here's the way you get the system off of it. I said, if a brother get a case, you get his wife and family a new house and a brand new Benz. Y'all pay for it like it. He said, what? I said, yeah, you want to get the heat off of him. I said, because what they want is his wife to come driving to Jum'ah with the car smoking and in isolation, and that's a lesson to all other brothers. Stay out of this people's business, right? But if she come in a big new Benz, sunroof back, the kids waving out the window, what the other sisters gonna say? Brother, you gotta stand up for the truth, right? You gotta take a stand, right? But if she come puffing with an old Toyota with smoke coming out the back, the sisters are gonna say, you gotta take it easy. You don't get us in hot water. This stuff goes on. When we did that thing down at the press building, it was a lot of discussion about it, especially amongst the Arabs. One of the big Palestinians, his wife, I didn't even know that we had a big program. Even Al-Moody and them was over in Alexander, and we went over to this big hotel, and the brother, he's a big Palestinian brother. Imam Musa, it's so good to see you. And And I said, man, hey, good to be recognized by everybody. And then another Arab told me, he said, yeah, him and his wife was watching y'all together on that TV. And his wife was telling him, isn't that what we should be doing? Right? So the people got their eyes open. But the general rule, if you get heat from the system in Pharaoh's time, and Hitler's time, and America's time, people gonna back up. There's a rule. What we was telling them, you want to keep the heat off of you? All of you, everybody get a case, fix them up, get them a new house, they can afford it. Get them a new Benz, and the government will begin to leave you alone. You don't have to say nothing. But if you run and hide and stay away from the person that's got harassed illegally, more of y'all gonna get cases. They didn't believe we was telling them the truth. We said, with us getting cases, we're professionals. Some of the people have saw some of the historical accounts of how many cases, you can't even count them. So we know how to act, but they don't believe it. It's related from the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever helps the oppressed by accompanying him and restored his right, Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shall on the day of resurrection keep firm his steps on the path of the bridge when the steps of many people will slip down. This is on brotherhood and helping your brother. It is not permissible for a believer to frighten another believer. You know, like one believer, they was playing, it got dark, so he got a rope. Shaking the rope, it looked like a snake. It scared the believer. Prophet ﷺ said, no, that's prohibited. Whoever casts such a glance on a believer so as to unjustly terrify him, Allah will on the day of resurrection make him suffer from terror. This is in Tirmidhi. No eye rolling in Islam. You heard the hadith? You can't even roll your eyes at it. You can't do that. You can't do it. I'm talking about this subject today because we're going back to California, and we're going to be dealing in California and here with all the people and all the system. I feel we'll win. We're going to sue the government and its affiliates out there for $50 million. And when we get back out here, we're going to start with $25 million. You said that's a whole lot of money. It's not a lot of money. If you've been doing this for 40 years and they've been closing down mosques, stealing this, doing that, that adds up to money. That adds up to a lot of money. And it's not the money, it's that we have a right as human beings, as Muslims, and we also have rights according to this old raggedy Constitution. We're taking them to court in their crooked system. Will we win? Yes, we will. Why? Because we've already won. The story we're telling now, everything they say in court, any denial, it doesn't make a difference because it's recorded. Right? And all the people that we're going to call going to have to say one thing or another. It makes no difference. We already have a record. And if we don't get them the first time, we'll come back again and again and again. And it's because our job, see, somebody asked me about an hour ago, how many times can you forgive somebody? So, well, the hadith says 70 times a day. 70 times a day? I said, yeah. And then the question comes, can you forgive somebody and still fight against them? Very simple question. We're fighting against the evil, not the people. See, the system sicks the people on you just like an old dog. And the first response, human response, is to fight the person. Because the government is sending the person, right? Remember Yahweh ben Yahweh? Remember over there in Rhode Island, there was a road, man, they had tons of people walking around in white. They tried to get rid of them. Well, how did they get rid of them? They sent open snitches into them. And they say, I know the brothers wouldn't do it, but the brothers are supposed to kill them. Then they got them in Florida down there. Murder cases and all of that. In Oakland, one of the minor snitches was taken from Oakland and out in Santa Cruz Mountains. It wasn't that far away. And they killed the guy. It was 3 of them. One of them was a real Black Panther, and the other 2 was snitches for the FBI. They weren't snitches, they were official FBI. They helped kill the minor snitch. The government is serious about its double crossing. So, for us, now you got to remember, just a couple of years ago, what was everybody saying? I couldn't even tell people what people was doing out there and here, because as soon as I tell somebody, ooh-wee, ooh-wee, you know what I mean? Some people would say, I ain't gonna take, how can you take that? I ain't gonna take that. I said, nothing. It's absolutely nothing. Because see, we know what we're playing for. And we know who the players are. You don't let no system set you up to fight when he wants you to fight, where he wants you to fight. You stall him. You set up the battlefield the way you want it to be set up. And if your goal is to expose the system, because the people don't know, like look what's happening right now. I was called somebody up in New England yesterday. Said, boy, it's terrible to pull little kids out. And this is student kids. Acting a fool. Oh, they're doing a good job, aren't they? I said, no, they dumb. How are they dumb? I said, they're dumb because the white man, I said, nobody checks on how many. I said, didn't the FBI know the guy was stupid? Yeah. Didn't the sheriff know? Right. I say, you remember the Navy Yard shooting? Yeah. What did the guy say? He said, I was hearing voices. He told the FBI, I heard voices telling me to do this. The FBI said, I don't know, they must have told him, go and listen to the voice. If the bombers up there, and don't talk about 911, all that mishap, how you going to shut down the whole country? A couple of Arabs from Saudi Arabia. 13 of them from Saudi Arabia. I don't know how many of them. But they can't shut down NORAD and Conrad and all of them people. Right? Don't mention every little shooting. The Boston bombing. Yeah, the FBI interviewed him. Yeah, the FBI interviewed him. To egg him on. Why? Why opiates? I was telling about opiates and guns. I said, America is finished. The police department looked like ninjas. A police department, that's for public safety. They don't look like public safety to me. They got knee pads on, they got head pads on, they look like they're going to murder somebody, me and you. Where they get all that stuff? From the Army. Why? Because America is falling down fast. Therefore, how did America win its independence? Remember the Minutemen? Remember what you read in history? Come to our village, they said, boys, we need to go fight our redcoats. And everybody had their gun, and they got on out, and they whooped the British. The citizens, that's why they use the word militia. Militia is not an army. It's me and you, all us in the neighborhood, we get together and we go take care of business. That's a militia. The Second Amendment guarantees you the right to bear arms. Against your brother? Against your cousin? No. Against who? The government. What is all this balance of power and all of that in America? Checks and balances? Against the authority of people, because the Americans was over here running around free, stealing everything from the Indians, and they didn't want nobody telling them nothing. Remember your history? Go back and read the Declaration of Independence. Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, right? And if any government goes against that, it is the duty of the people to abolish that government and establish a new one. That's the Declaration of Independence. Constitution don't say that, do it? George Washington and all the boys that had me and you, all the poor folks out there fighting the British, and now they're independent. When they write the Constitution, it's to rule you, not to free you. Who's the new ruler? Me, us, and our Constitution. That's why you remember your history, nobody accepted the Constitution at first, right? Nobody, we're not going to take that thing. Talking about you got to do this, you got to do that. We ain't going for that. How about if we put some first 10 amendments? Remember the Bill of Rights? The Bill of Rights is saying what rights you got against the government. I got the right to freedom of speech, press, and religion. I can talk, say anything I want, right? That comes from their history. Peter Zenger, 1735. You know, free press. The right to bear arms. Number 2. Why is it up so high? Because that's what they won their freedom with. And we all armed and arms up until they come out with the Tommy gun law. A citizen could have the same thing the army could. You go down south, all them old cannons sitting out in the front was real cannons. And if you put some powder in that boy and took them cannonballs, think about it, sit next to it and stuff it down that barrel and light it, boom, off goes the cannon. Can you own a cannon now? No. Why? Because the government wants to control you, and the government is killing all of these children and everybody else to take guns away. America been armed. Okay, remember when we was kids, who didn't have guns in their house? Just tell me, especially down south, you went coon hunting, all kind of rabbit hunting, not for sport. Tell the truth, when we hunted in them days, it was to eat, right? And you hunted everything. Possum, they say, yeah, possum, look at that. Possum was good, shoot, you just not hungry enough. So, you them possum, them old ugly possum running around? Shoot, them old people, we catch hold of that possum, saw a possum last week. Yeah. You think it's like when we was in California. My father used to sit on, he was born in 1900, he used to sit on the porch, we had trees, and he'd have his rifle, because there was squirrels running around. When I was a little boy in the South, we went rabbit hunting, squirrel hunting, and all that. That's why you got your 22 right away, right? Everybody got a 22. To do what? Hunt. So everybody else was feeding the squirrels. He was trying to shoot them boys for dinner. All these little squirrels, if he was in that area, you wouldn't have no squirrel problem. It would be like Vietnamese and dogs. In California, all them stray dogs. When the Vietnamese come to town, you don't have no more stray dog problems, do you? Because for them dogs, delicacy. Anyway, back to the point. The point is, you can't even roll your eyes at a brother. Now, we have to fight. But we don't hate nobody. Especially slow-thinking Negroes. In other words, if you mad at the Negro, who sent the Negro? Always go to the source. right? Never just deal with the surface problem. Put a little grease on it. No. Go to the problem. You're rusty behind. What's causing that rust? Anyway. So whoever casts such a glance on a believer so as to unjustly terrify him, Allah will on the day of resurrection make him suffer terror. So it's not only saying things, doing things. People will say and do anything they want to you. Remember the word responsibility. We turn around. Ability to respond. You can respond to life the way you want. We're going to speed up a little bit and probably cut it short. The time will come when the other nations shall eat at you like a group of men eating at a dish of food. Someone inquired, O Messenger of Allah, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, will our population be small so that other nations would gang up to swallow us up? No, replied the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, your number will not be small, but you will be weightless, like the sticks of straw carried by the river. The enemies will not be afraid of you, as your hearts will be filled with cowardice. On being asked by a person as to why the Ummah would lose courage, the Holy Prophet ﷺ said this would be due to the Muslims' love for the world and their distaste for death and avoiding to die in a just cause. Abu Dawood, technically the hadith says that the people of the world will tear at each other like the people tearing at a dish of food, a delicious food. Will we be a small number at that time that people will treat us like that? No, your number will be great, but you will be like the foam on top of the water. You will be weightless and useless. So they're wondering if we are a big number, how is it? The Prophet ﷺ, you will say, have wahan. What is wahan? It is cowardice, it's fear of death, fear to fight for the cause of God. That's what it is. You'll be useless. Your number will be great. Where are all the wars and the refugees in the world today? Mostly it's Muslims. Why? We don't have unity. We don't have discipline. We don't have organization. Right? Well, they don't. We're not joining them, sweetie pie Muslim. We're going to be friendly to them. One thing we're not going to do, we're not going to fight them unless frontal attack. Why? Go after the one that sent him. Don't never let nobody send you off fighting some sweetie pie Negro when the white man and sent him to finish you off. That's the first rule. See, a lot of people was sad because, they said, you grew up in that little kitty jail. I said, yeah, we was all state raised. All the gangsters in California was state raised. They got us when we was 12. They got us back when we was 14. Got us back when we was 16. Pretty soon we was grown, but we learned a lesson. In those days they had Mexicans, Negroes, and white boys. And you learn, it wasn't no California, it wasn't no Northern California, Southern California, LA, it was all black. You learn a lesson that if you unified, you could have a company of 60 people in there. They usually try to keep 20 of each. But suppose it's 10 niggas, only 10, and it's 50 of everybody else. If those 10 niggas is unified, got a good leader, they can run the whole show. They can protect themselves. We grew up knowing that without even, you didn't know it like to write a book on it. 1959, the police said to me, Raines, you're race conscious. 13 or 14. What else you gonna be is race conscious? That's like growing up in the South and they say, you're a race conscious. Race conscious, what is that? Why, you're conscious of race. Well, where I live, who I marry, the job I have, everything in this society depends on, at that time, your race, isn't that right? So I would have to be race conscious. Everybody else is. You are race conscious. I said, this man, that's crazy. But they put that in your record, and it's good. Because you remember that your enemy is not your people. They use your people as toys and playthings. But don't know, we was having a jihad in Oakland. They had a big group here the other day. Said they was coming today. We didn't believe they was coming, and they did. 4 Russians, 5 Russians, with all kind of TV interviews. They wanted me to say what they wanted to say. I said, yes, we're having a jihad, but it's a spiritual jihad. I said, in Oakland, we're having a spiritual jihad. This is a spiritual move. It's not no physical move. Ain't nobody gonna take 1, 2, 3 Negroes and fight against atomic bombs, B-52s and all of that, right? That'd be insane. 2 of y'all, 3 of y'all maximum, right? So you fight with what God give you. Spiritual intellect, spiritual know-how. I got a lot of stuff, but I'm gonna try to speed up. Aisha radiallahu anha relates to us saying that once a man asked the Apostle of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam for permission to come in, the Prophet said to us that he was a bad son or member of his tribe, and then told us to let him come. When he came in, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam spoke to him very politely. After he had gone, I said to the Apostle of Allah, you spoke to him cheerfully, although earlier you had expressed a poor opinion of him, that he was a bad representative of his tribe. Prophet, peace be upon him, replied, in the judgment of Allah, the worst man on the day of resurrection, from this point of view of rank, will be whom people may leave, i.e. avoid meeting on account of his rudeness. Bukhari and Muslim. What this means is, Prophet's family is there, and the guy comes and wants to come in. So the Prophet said, this boy here ain't no good at all. And then he came in, and he was very polite, very courteous, and very kind. And so, you said he was a bad guy, but you was real nice to him. Right? Well, that was a sunnah. You can't be mean to people according to the hadith, just because they're stupid or backwards or crazy. Right? So that's why I'm getting to the point in a minute. Just because people act a certain way, you have to tell people, that nigga there, that nigga ain't no good. But you treat him well. That nigga there is a tattletale. That's the biggest snitch in town. You have to. That's the rule. The people are working and they're around. You know, we read in the beginning, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Inna Allah yahmuru bil-adli wal-ihsani wa ita'i dhil-qurba wa yanha anil-fahsha'i wal-munkari wal-baghi ya'ithakum la'allakum tadhakkarun. This is the one Allah commands and enjoins justice, the doing of good, and the giving to kinsmen, and he forbids vile deeds. and the disapproved things and oppression. He exhorts you that you may bear in mind. This is called Tawsiyah bit-Taqwa. Part of a Khutbah is Tawsiyah bit-Taqwa, to encourage people toward good and Taqwa. The other, and fulfill the covenants of Allah when you have made the covenant, and never break the oaths after the confirmation, while indeed you have set Allah over you as a guarantor. Verily Allah knows what you do. And then it talks about be not like the woman that unties the thread. We have, it's like almost like a constitution and everybody's name on it. There's only one person around here that's still on that list. Everybody in Oakland just packed up and said goodbye. They just said goodbye. Of course, you can't do that once you give bail. It talks about the firmness of allegiance, you know what I mean, and the punishment for doing that. Now, you can fast for 3 days and you can take your bail back. The only person that did that was abdul-Malik. In fact, that was 10 years ago. That was April 2008. 10 years ago, just like that. It goes just like that. Now, right here, As-Sabiqun in D.C. Remember the brotherhood here? Remember all the believers running around in black, back and forth? You know, just 2 waffles. The young people, they say, give me 2 of them now, give me a bucket of this here and a bucket of that. You know, you get a bucket, they use buckets. And then after they finish, they go back again. I said, man, I don't know how they do it. But that's the only crime I can think of here. Right? I mean, trying to be nice to people. So if people leave, we can't run behind them. What do we do wrong? It's up to you, right? That's it. What are you going to do? You can't go tell if your woman leaves you, she done left. You look crazy. Baby, what's wrong? What is it? He says, look, I'm going home. I said, okay. Maybe I can buy a car fare to get you along a little farther, but I can't bring you back if she decides to leave. You know, that's it. So what I'm saying is, people get mad. Now this gets serious. Friend of mine, Imam down south, he's been in the penitentiary now 18 years. His community took bail. They is serious bail. When they finish praying, you want to go, raise your hand. All right, they raise. So, I said, man, I ain't never seen that. But this is serious bail. I was on the way down there when the police was looking for this brother. And I had my family stopped in Carolina. When we got back on the highway in the morning, first thing we heard, H. Rap Brown, Imam, al-Alim, arrested, da-da-da-da. And I went down there, then I went and got some rich guys that we knew down there. I mean, they're very rich, they're from overseas. And I brought them there, and we was there at my crib. I brought them there so the brothers would say, hey, you know, da-da-da-da, hook us up, legal stuff and all that. The brothers, the Negro brothers, the Bayer brothers, they didn't even mention that Imam Jamil had been arrested at prayer time at my crib. I said, man, this is cold. In the case, I could have beat that case myself. The ID, guy had gray eyes. Police, right, the one, remember he said, he had gray eyes. And he was shot. Point blank, remember that? Police said, the other police that lived. It's not true. Imam Jamil is 6'5", he ain't no 5'10", right? And he got brown eyes, black eyes, look like ours. He ain't got no gray eyes. But they sent him to the penitentiary for the rest of his life. Nobody said nothing. All the Bayer people, all over this country, the only one ever spoke up was Imam Luqman, and he was assassinated. Remember that? Everybody had Bayer. The point I'm making is, don't get absorbed in people's words, people's ideas, and none of those things. When it comes to your duty and your responsibility, reach out, kindness, love, compassion, and never buckle down in the face of your enemy. I got it wrote down here, but it's the same thing. Never buckle down. This boy is going. Anybody can turn on the news can see that. Do you know we have the best chance we've ever had in our history to make a contribution? Do you know that we have a chance to get some value out of the slave trade? We was the victims, right? They stole our religion, language, culture, everything. But suppose we have accepted this Islam and we help bring the grandchildren, great-grandchildren of the slave master to Islam and make America a good place, right? Why not? We got the opportunity right now. Don't nobody want to know America the great. We done seen America the great. Negroes hanging on trees, strange fruit and all that. We want America the good, isn't that right? Can America get good by itself? My opinion, absolutely not. I'm not saying that it's the devil like the other people do. But it has behaved devilish, right? Boy, look at here. And I'll close with this. See, we go out to Oakland. I was just looking at a couple of things. Y'all remember police infiltrators and agent provocateurs at Occupy Oakland? They got agent provocateurs. That means, think about it. 1968, when they go back to civil rights and great things black people did, they go back 50 years. What's happened between then and now? Nothing. Why? Because when it's time 2 or 3 of you get together to try to do some good, you are infiltrated and sabotaged by a boss man. Isn't that right? And if you're a standard Negro, the stuff he throw at you, you're going to fall over in a minute. Right? He going to run some girls. If you remember the old days of the Muslims in America, calling everybody Sunnis. Man, they throw a couple of cutie pies in here. The Imam, first of all, get everybody mad because he swoop up most of them for himself because he had 4 wives. And the brothers was kind of, that was almost carte blanche. We do that. The Islamic Party wasn't as bad, but Dar Islam was 100%. I mean, everybody dabbled. So you don't have to worry about breaking up the Jum'ah. Just bring in a few cutie pies. Or they tell the brothers, well, if you do this, you can get a loan from the government to spread Islam. Like the Palace Party. They took them loans, and then the government came back after the niggas had brought Cadillacs and everything with them government loans in Oakland. Huey Newton and all that. And then the government said, well, you didn't read the little print there. It says you got to give an account of that. So if you gave us the money, shoot, heaven is Cadillacs. So if we free, we bought Cadillacs. Off to the penitentiary, closed down the programs. Same thing with the Muslims, right? They got the Muslims trying to save America with a government program. Police gas, beat, fire, rubber bullets at occupied Denver. Second round police clashes happening now at occupied Oakland. Now here I am, a lone guy, senior citizen, telling everybody, you guys are infiltrated. So I said, now what happened a few years ago, remember, you had all the people on your side, then here comes some leftists or so-and-sos talking all that trash. Then the police could beat y'all upside the head and everything else, right? And that's the exact same thing they did this time. The police, one of the places, you know, a couple of years ago, we was going to Dallas all the time. Let's see. I just read a little bit about it. Occupied Dallas group is infiltrated by pedophiles, sexual deviants, and everything. The police opened up the jails and sent all the crazy folks and all the pedophiles and all the prostitutes to go down. How much days you got? I got 15 days. Well, you're going down, you can do 2 days down at the March. You go down there and we're going to cut your sentence. So all the prostitutes is there, the niggas mess with little children. Occupied Dallas group is infiltrated by pedophiles, sexual deviants, and terrorists. We must separate the tare from the wheat. In other words, it has a long article on how the government, I was giving speeches in Dallas at that time, how the government going to separate the real Wall Street people from the phonies. You can't do it. You may get a few. That's what's happened to us. Every movement we start, they infiltrate it. And I'm not going to go through all this. I was just going to Oakland because I showed y'all pictures. When I went to Oakland, Wall Street, I took my camera and I saw snitches that I knew. Relatives even. I don't know if y'all remember me, Sean said, this is my relative here. I know he is snitch. He don't know I said, hey, how you doing? Yeah, man, let me get your picture. Ain't seen you in so long. Man, I ain't seen you. He's telling on people back in the 60s. So you know he's a professional tattletale. Ain't there no time. Anyway, dear believers, it is related by Shuaib that the Apostle of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, strange is the case with the faithful servant. There is nothing but good for him in every circumstance. If joy or comfort reaches him and he feels grateful to his Lord, there is nothing but good for him. And if he is visited by sorrow or affliction and he endures it with patience and perseverance, it too is nothing but a source of goodness and welfare for him. Sahih Muslim. So your attitude will determine all the things that are good for you. It's how you feel about it. Accept everything Allah sends you and use it as a benefit. I'll close with this. You guys probably never heard of this guy. Hubert Harrison? We have in class. Hubert Harrison is the most dynamic personality. When you just type it up and you'll find it. In the Harlem Renaissance. What do you mean? Most dynamic. With Marcus Garvey, sharper than Marcus Garvey, been there longer, got more sense. Why we never heard of him? Because he was too pro-Negro. All the leftists, he said, no, we ain't gonna let you white folks run us. We doing this according to what's best for our community. They didn't like it, so you never hear about it. The same thing on the Muslim show. Who you hear on the Muslim show? Tell the truth. People that never talk about nothing that we talking about here today. Isn't that right? Nothing that we're talking about here today. The Muslim show. It's theater. But now remember, you can't be mad at them because remember, love cures everything. And we are a loving community. Now that sounds funny after saying all the stuff I said, but it's true. If you get mad and mean like the white man, you'll never get nowhere. Even if you win, you've lost because you like him. You don't like people no more because people are liars and snitches. Of course they are, but you gotta like them anyway. That's why it says forgive them 70 times a day. That's a lot of forgiving, isn't that right? 70 times. Y'all remember the hadith? That's what it says. And even in the commentary, it means more or a lot. It don't mean just you count. I forgive this nigga. That's 68 times. I'm about to finish. I ain't got to forgive nobody. No. Dear believers, it means it's serious. That's why Allah's name, he says, my mercy outweighs my wrath. Isn't that right? And what's his two names that he says he likes? Al-Ghafurur Rahim. He's forgiving and merciful. That's what Allah says. Al-Ghafurur Rahim. Well, that's what people take those two attributes. That he's forgiving and merciful. We got to try that too. If we try that, I'll close with this for real. Y'all don't remember, most of you, few do, the Negro neighborhood in the 40s and the 50s. It's unbelievable. You'd think I'm lying. No doors locked. You stay out all night. If you walk down the street looking hungry, your neighbor would pull you in and feed you. You can ask some of the old timers. That's true. Probably D.C., I don't know. I know in Oakland, didn't nobody kid get killed, but every 2-3 years, and people talked about it for 10 years. Man, Johnny Boy, shot Billy, and then they remember it. It's a big, that's right. Everybody talked about it for 100 years. You thought it happened last week. You know. We were different people then. We did a little sneaking around, a little stealing, maybe sneaking with your woman or something like that. But we didn't do nothing mean, like, you know what I mean? We wasn't mean niggas. Now the white man, if you hang around with him, he'll make you mean. I prefer we get back to minor Negroism, you know. Minor Negroism, stealing people's chickens and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Your neighbor got a chicken coop and you snatch a couple of chickens. But you didn't knock him over for his whole savings. You just steal a couple of chickens. I mean, I ain't stole your chickens. What you mean, man? Blaming that on me. Probably somebody else. You got chicken feathers all over the Hey, I will close. Let's help the world by helping America become good based on Islam, Al-Ghafurur Rahim, forgiveness, love, and compassion. And our three pillars that we've always used is kindness, optimism, and humor. What humor got to do with it? If you can't laugh at it, hey man, you see what he do to you, he'll make you mean. And the worst thing in the world is a mean Negro. Used to tell a lot of jokes, having a good time, now he mean. That ain't no fun. Well, Allah, we seek thy refuge from anxiety and grief, we seek thy refuge from lack of strength and laziness, seek thy refuge from cowardice and niggardliness, we seek thy refuge from being overpowered by debt and the oppression of men. O Allah, suffice us with what is lawful, keep from us what is prohibited. With thy grace, make us free from want of what besides it. Ameen. Comment this.